Welcome to Paint a Beautiful Picture. This is episode number 205, Teaching Cooperation. Yesterday we talked about a spirit of cooperation. Now we're going to talk about teaching it to your child. I once worked with a woman who didn't know anything about cooperation. Now I'm going to tell you this much. She had 10 children and she was harsh. I use that language. She was harsh to patients too. She would slap people while they were screaming while they were in labor and delivery. And that's totally unprofessional, but I'm just telling you the truth about what happened. She would say, I need to go smoke, and she would just walk off the unit. Now, people were allowed to take two 15-minute breaks in a shift. She'd be gone an hour. And of course, while she's gone, people who don't smoke, which would be me and one of our other coworkers, had to handle everything. She did not have a spirit of cooperation. I finally started taking smoke breaks, and she's like, oh, come on, Violet, you don't smoke. I said, no, but I do deserve a break. Like, I worked there for almost a year and a half and never once had a break. Yeah, there's no cooperation there. And she was pretty ticked when I started taking smoke breaks, too. The point being that you will run into people, even as adults in their 50s, who know nothing about how to cooperate. And it's very challenging to work alongside of them or even to get along with them sometimes. When you teach your child how to cooperate, wow, you're making their life better. You're certainly making their former spouse's life better. You're making their children's lives better. You're just making everything about their life better. So let's hit it. None of us are born like this, I want you to know. We have our own thoughts. We have our own ideas. We have everything about us pretty much in place at birth. If you doubt it, try telling a newborn baby, I'll come and feed you in 3 hours. But an hour and a half later, they're awake and they are like, screaming at the top of their lungs and flailing and inconsolable. Yeah, tell that to a baby. See how that works out for you. We know what we want, and usually we want it now. And for some people, that doesn't change a lot, even when they're no longer a baby. It is your place as a parent to exert strong influence in your child's life to help them learn how to cooperate. That means even at 1, you say to them, you need to hold still for 1 minute and wait for mommy. That doesn't mean an hour. That is insane. And I even see people quite often, sadly, in Walmart with a 1.5-year-old or a 2-year-old yelling at them, slapping them, telling them, I told you to wait, I told you to wait, I told you to wait. If the adult can't hardly wait, I don't know how in the world they think that this little tiny person can. Not that long anyway. But you do teach them to wait for a minute or 2, and you go to 3 and 5. And by the time they're 3 or 4 years old, I'm not kidding you, they can wait 10 or even 15 minutes as long as they have something to do, not just stand there and wait because they're going to get themselves into trouble. So they are learning to cooperate with the fact that someone else actually has responsibilities and everything isn't going to happen right in that second when they want it. But then you actually actively and appropriately respond to what they needed. You don't make them wait an excessive amount of time, and you don't completely forget what they really need from you. So you teach them to cooperate. Then when you have a couple of children and they need to share toys, they need to work together to pick up the space. They're going to go somewhere together and they need to take turns. All of those things foster in them a spirit of cooperation. They learn how to take their turn. They learn how to work together to pick something up. They can learn how to let the other person go first or come up with the idea of the game that they're going to play. All of those things are part of cooperation. By the time they're in school, they need to be cooperating with the entire family unit and its goals. That means when it's time to clean the house, they're sure that their own room is picked up. They can help pick up anything that happens to be around the house that doesn't belong there, that has a place to go, and they know where that goes. They need to be taking it, they need to be putting it up. When they are old enough, they need to be able to run the vacuum cleaner, at least some part of run the vacuum cleaner while you're doing the edgings or whatever. They can sweep the floor. They may not be capable of getting everything up in the dustpan with the whisk broom, but they can certainly sweep a little bit. You need to let them do things as they are able. They can wash dishes, they can dry dishes, they can set things on the counter if they can't reach where they go to be put away. They can put things in the dishwasher. They can take part of the things out, probably at least the silverware. They can take out the trash. There are a lot of things they can do. They can help their younger brother and sister put on their coat when it's time to go somewhere, or tie someone's shoes that doesn't know how when you have 2 or 3 others to take care of. Yes, they can develop a spirit of cooperation. Here's the important thing that you need to know. When you play games, it really does that, especially if you play team games. Part of the reason I like certain kinds of card games, I do really like Uno, but I mean, card games like Canasta or Spades, and you have a partner. So you start to develop a spirit of cooperation by knowing something about who you're playing with and the way that they think and how they have a style in which they play the game or play their cards. And you develop this spirit of cooperation and teamwork. It's a really big thing. By the time they are teenagers, they in fact should be participating in some kind of group sport, not a single sport, but volleyball or baseball, basketball, soccer, something where they actually have to be part of a coordinated group and they learn how to cooperate with other people. You want your children to develop a strong spirit of cooperation, and it will serve them well throughout their lifetimes. One of the elements of cooperation that is frequently missed is good communication. If you aren't willing to really listen to the other person and hear what they're saying to you about what they need or what they want or how they think or the way they see it, their perspective, it is very difficult to cooperate. One of the elements of helping young people, and frankly our own selves, to cooperate effectively is to communicate effectively. So I'm going to discuss again just for a minute with you that reflective communication process where the one person says, well, I really think that we need to blank. And the other person reflects back. Okay, so what I think I heard you say was, you believe we need to this. And the first person says, that isn't exactly what I meant. So let me restate that. Let me try that again and clarify that. It isn't, no, you didn't even listen to me. You weren't listening. You didn't hear me. It is, let me restate that to you so you can have clarity. Both parties in this part of the communication need to recognize that it is impossible to read another person's mind. And so you need to listen the best you can, really aim to understand the message, reflect it back, and then let them clarify that for you again. It's very difficult to cooperate or to work alongside of someone if you know nothing about what they're thinking, nothing about what their goals are, nothing about where they're headed. So that communication is pretty crucial in developing a spirit of cooperation. My challenge question for you today is this. Do I have a spirit of cooperation? That's in light of yesterday's episode. And then, how am I doing it helping my child develop a sense of cooperation? It's a really vital skill in life. It will make your home so much calmer, and it will help everyone inside of your home to feel better about themselves and one another. I hope this episode has been a lot of help to you. I will look forward to hearing from you, and I hope that you have a great day today with your children. Thank you for joining me. You may find additional information on our paintabeautifulpicture.com website. Additionally, you may watch me on Rumble, and you may also listen to a podcast on Buzzsprout or Spreaker, all under the name Paint a Beautiful Picture. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. You may subscribe, and if you are interested in receiving notifications, please hit the notifications button.